always observe what happens in sport. Rosie O'Donnell, not in sport, but Rosie O'Donnell came out a number of years ago and she said something and it stuck with me. And all she said is that fame is a drug. She was just fired from a show she had on something called The View. She was fired from that. And so then she talked about it. She said, yeah, it's really hard being fired from that. I didn't get along. I probably shouldn't have been working there. And I understand all that. But I'm depressed right now. I had a real high from that fame, and now I don't have the fame, and now I'm on a low. I understood what she meant, and I appreciated her being candid, but I also liked the words that she used. Because what do we see in sport a lot? We see a lot of our heroes turn into alcohol and drugs when their career's over. All the way, my favorite boxer of all time, Sugar Ray Leonard, turns to cocaine. Of all things, who could imagine? Sugar Ray Leonard guy won the Olympic gold medal. This guy's got everything figured out. This guy's a leader. Well, he lost that fame. He lost that drug. He didn't know how to get that high. He didn't know how to fill that void. And he's talked about it. I'm not out of school. Ricky Hatton went and did the same thing. Ricky Hatton gained 100 pounds, turned into a drunk, started doing drugs. Ricky's now corrected things, and he talked about it. Same as Sugar Ray. He's corrected things, but now he's talking about it. We will see some of these athletes. I'm going to talk fighters here. It's actually kind of spread across the board with athletes. Hollywood is a terrible place to grow up as a child. And you wonder why they turn into knuckleheads. But a lot of it is just as simple as what Rosie O'Donnell said. That was a high. That high is now gone. I need something to fill the void. What I'm trying to say is, if you look at some of the other guys, it's called marking out for your own gimmick. When you come out and you tell the world you're the greatest ever, the first time that you say it, you will feel very awkward about it, believe me. And you're expecting the person that you said it to laugh at you. And maybe they did or maybe they didn't, but the second time you say it, it gets easier. And the third time you come out and claim you're the greatest to have ever done it, you'll start to believe it a hell of a lot more than you did the first 2 times. By the time you've said it 100 times, it's now easy. You now believe it, and you've also created a whole bunch of other people around you who also believe it. And when they all start saying the same thing and feeding the same narrative that you had, it just becomes your reality. But you only get to perform 2 to 3 times a year. So what do you do in between? We said John Jones is up right now. He's got to go to some bench trial. Waitress at a strip club saying that he choked her. Conor McGregor video just surfaced. He smacked some old guy in a bar. By smacked him, he took a closed fist and punched the guy right in the face. Upset about whatever he was upset about. But they begin acting out. You begin seeing these things because negative attention is better than no attention. And you will see, I'm talking about criminal acts right here. Guys, you've seen it all the way down in school. Don't you remember that kid in class? You'd be out somewhere. He'd put a whole sandwich in his mouth at lunchtime. He'd put the whole sandwich in and gross all the girls out. Or he'd put a whole pancake in his mouth, a whole waffle into his mouth. Remember those guys? They would get a negative reaction from the girl, but had they not done that, they get no reaction at all. They would just prefer a negative reaction to no reaction. It's as simple as that. Good, bad, or indifferent, I'm just pointing out the level of psychology there. And the road and the story and the journey never ends well. Never. Daniel Cormier had those same opportunities. He was tempted with those same exact things. And he fell into the temptation like everybody else. Except for him, where he chose as his outlet, as his way of getting his hair down, was to go to a local high school and to give back to the community. He also had spare time. He also had extra energy. He also had a few dollars that he wanted to spend somewhere. And he did. At a local high school, as their head wrestling coach, giving back to the community. So for someone like him to think that he has to come out and offer an apology, man, look, you guys understand? You see what I'm trying to say here? There's just a significant difference. There's one path that's the right path. There's one path that's the wrong path. Everybody makes mistakes. You walk on both of them at times. But you would hope that by the time a guy is an adult, that it's only the right path. And to Daniel's credit, that's the one he found.